Alright, so it's gonna be an English panel. I think we can start from like giving the audience a quick introduction of yourself. I think that's from Roberto. Then let's go from like order right here.
I am Roberto Daviduk. I am from Argentina. Our project is based on the USA. We basically has a crypto wallet, but we're looking for something different in the market. We provide more than traditional wallet features, so we are integrating GameFi functionalities and augmented reality features. That's all.
Hey everyone, I'm Jock. I'm one of the co-founders and directors of Hashlock. Hashlock is a leading Web3 cybersecurity and smart contract auditing firm.
Hello, my name is Mickey. I'm ClickHouse, our support engineer. Because the reason why I'm supporting is I'm first engineer in Japan. So I'm supporting not only support position but also essay and many kind of tasks. So ClickHouse is a database especially for real-time data analytics. We don't provide any Web3 technologies, but Web3 companies using our product behind. Yeah, thank you.
Konnichiwa Japan, and hello everyone. I'm Anjali Dubey and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at PopSocial. So at PopSocial, we are basically about redefining social networking and taking it beyond gatekeeping, gatekeepers, and limits. So we want to give power back to the users, and not because we're doing something great, but because it completely belongs to you and you deserve to have control over your data. So yes, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Maika Isogawa, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Webacy. At Webacy, our mission is to protect digital assets, so security and safety is very top of mind. We recently released dd.xyz, we own that domain, which is providing real-time intelligence and diligence data for any address on-chain. So we integrate into other companies, DEXs, wallets, exchanges, and so on to help those companies and their end users make better decisions on-chain.
Alright, thanks for the introduction, everybody. I'm the moderator of the panel. I'm Luis. I'm the co-founder of BBSNYC. We're a conference company based in New York that focused on hosting a Web3 plus AI conference. Also the co-host of this TEAMZ conference. And yeah, so let's begin. The panel will be more focused on the security aspect of crypto. So I think the first question we have is what do you the speakers think about the differentiation, the difference between the Web3 security versus the traditional securities? And I guess start from Roberto.
I think one of the most common differences in Web 2, the traditional Web 2, the threats are focused on users, like phishing. And in Web 3, there are more focused on damage to the protocols itself.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I think the stakes have never been higher when it comes to Web3. When it comes to traditional security, it seems that bad actors are trying to get a hold of your data to then use that data to get access to your funds. Whereas with Web3, they can have direct access to those funds. And we've never seen before with Web3, you can make calls to a smart contract and instigate a flash loan attack and withdraw insane amounts of funds, like millions of dollars within fractions of a second. So when it comes to Web3 and security, having that direct line to your digital money, you need to ensure that everything is lock and key.
Even talking about Web3, many companies are managed by Web2 companies. So if some attack or something happens, they need to analyze not only Web3 but also Web2. That makes a data flow because Web3 making more cryptocurrencies. So it's quite difficult to manage big data. So Web3 issue is it need to include Web2 issue as well. So that makes huge data and it makes it more difficult to analyze it.
Okay, so I do agree with what the other speakers said, but I do have one more point to add. That Web2 threats are more like, they steal your data, but when we talk about Web3 threats, they are more about stealing your decisions, When there's a Web2 threat, it's more likely that they will maybe have control over your account, over your funds in your bank, but there is a thing that it is reversible. There is a customer care always in Web2 to support you that can maybe help to reverse the transaction. But when we talk about Web3, it's completely irreversible. You're one click on any link and your whole fund is gone and you don't have any customer care to entertain or support you there.
Yeah, I think Miki-san made a really great point about a lot of Web3 companies are built on Web2 stacks. So under the hood, you're running on AWS, you're running on Google Cloud, you're running on all the traditional Web2 cybersecurity threats that you might have to consider normally. So on top of all of those, there are the Web3 items to keep track of. And then to everyone else's point, Web3 is a lot more tied to financial incentives and financial direct ties to your transactions, to the wallets and so on. And so the risks that are there, we don't have the same consumer protections in crypto and in blockchain that we have for traditional Web2. So as annoying as it might be to have a limit on transfers between banks as a Web2 citizen, not having those things in Web3 ends up having a lot of risks when it comes to larger transactions that could be mistakes in the long run.
All right, thanks for the sharing your views, speakers. I think just like in conclusion, I think you guys talk about the differentiation between the Web2 and Web3 is in the traditional finance or the economy in the traditional world. Once you personality being stolen, there's still a leeway right there. Versus in the Web3, if any mistake is made, then your fund is directly disappeared. So that's kind of the nature of blockchain, and then I think there's more focus on that. So the next question is really quick follow-up. What do you think the security or the landscape is changing in the crypto securities in the future, 12 to 18 months? I think people are talking about I think we already start to seeing people are utilize the artificial intelligence, large language models to making attacks. And also a hacker skills is increasingly having new way to hack the protocols. So what do you think in the future, 12 months to 16 months, what the potential risk right there? What kind of new attack method will be employed?
In my opinion, I believe we must invest in systems to protect our business, our movements, to stay one step ahead of the attackers, basically, I don't know what more can I say.
I think as well, as we've seen AI come into the forefront of emerging tech, we have all these new tools emerging. And these tools are really helpful when it comes to more security measures for Web3. However, these tools that we can use to, alongside other automated analysis tools when it comes to reviewing code and finding security vulnerabilities, these tools can also be used by bad actors and hackers to find security vulnerabilities in existing smart contracts that are already deployed and are already live. So I think we have to be careful, especially with letting a lot of these tools be open source and available to the public. Although they can be used for good, they can also be used for bad.
So I have a chance to talk with our cryptocurrency exchange companies. So they are worried about not Web3 actually. They are worried about Web2 because somebody tried to attack. So they are trying to store, they have to analyze network flow, not smart contract data at this moment, or even user behaviors or audit log. So at this moment, still our Web3 companies are worried about Web2 technologies. So those companies still are trying to insert or to set up a platform to analyze Web2 data. And the next phase, they are trying to integrate with Web3 data, such as transaction data or many coin behaviors. So those can analyze like our correlation analysis, which is a very common security technologies. And once this data is stored in one place, the AI is easy to protect in the future new attack, because AI is easy to find zero-day attack, which is uncovered new attacks. So AI, if we have a data in one place, AI is easy to synchronize, or easy to compare Web2 and Web3 data, and it makes more secure AI data protection can be realized.
Okay, innovation is going on another level. We all can witness it, and so it is also bringing challenges. And in the upcoming 6 to 12 months that you just asked about, I think attacks and threats are going to evolve in a way that we don't even expect. It's going to make Web3 so dynamic that we can't even think about it. And I personally think that the upcoming threats are first of all, it's going to be manipulated based attacks. What I mean is AI has gone to the next level, and now it has the potential to manipulate the decision on deals, creating such exceptional and so amazing proposals that the community members won't even realize that they're putting or they are getting into a trap through these malicious proposals. And the second thing that I think is the next threat will be social engineering attacks. What this means is we have witnessed in our lives that there are Telegram users using our names, using our profile pictures, and talking to our close friends. But what differentiates there is that they realize through the chatting patterns or the way we talk that, yeah, this person is not my friend, or this person is not the person I know in real life. But with AI copying the chatting patterns and even your voice, I think it will be very much difficult to distinguish between the AI and the actual person. So it's kind of very much scary. The innovation is increasing, but the average user's education regarding the techniques are not increasing, and this gap is just going on increasing every day. So we need to make sure that we should not be just focusing on technical things, but we should also be focusing on educating the users, because if we don't do that, I don't know where we are heading to.
I would say that blockchain security has actually improved quite a bit and changed in the last few years. So we used to have a lot of smart contract hacks or bridge draining hacks 3 years ago, and now that has changed a lot, and that's due to a bunch of different security tools being developed, but also auditing becoming better and projects caring more. And in this conference, I think there's a lot of institutional teams and corporate teams building on blockchain, and you're leveraging blockchains that are more well-designed and more white-listed to reduce a lot of the hacking. So now the security problems are more about how do I make sure this chain doesn't become a compliance challenge or a regulatory issue, and how do I keep myself and my team out of jail, especially here in Japan where the regulations are more strict. So now security is more about how do I know that the funds are not being filtered from terrorist organizations or groups that aren't supposed to be leveraging our technologies. So there's that security threat, and then of course the end user safety is a big one, which is always being challenged and built for within the applications that are being designed today.
Yeah, thanks for sharing the insight. I think Anjali mentioned a really interesting point, which is the AI can actually start to social engineering all that. It's a very interesting point. I want to just like share something very interesting because like when the TEAMZ asked the photo of me, I was in the airport transition. I don't have my photo with suits, so I just like posted my T-shirt photo and sent it to ChatGPT to generate the photo I have right here. So if you actually look into that, it's not exactly similar as what I looks like, but it's very similar from that. So I think that's a really good point. Maybe in the future, AI could actually generate a lot of sort of like human biometrics and hacks to that. Very scary part of the Web3, I think.
That's funny that you mentioned that, Lewis, because I did the same thing.
Oh, you have to.
That's what I really thought of me.
Yeah.
That looks way more handsome than I look.
Right, actually, so I have like a conversation with ChatGPT to tweak a bit of myself right there. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I think Micah mentioned like the regulatory and the compliance. I think that's a really good point. And the next question is actually about that. What do you guys think about the regularity or compliance impact how the Web3 project or the Web3 company is dealing with their like securities? I think let's start from Roberto.
Let's see. I do believe compliance is a very important thing when you want to create a Web3 project. You know, is a must to start with some regulations, and that's all.
Okay.
At least in Japan, I'm not super familiar when it comes to the regulatory and compliance that is happening here. As far as I've seen though, compared to a lot of other jurisdictions, Japan seems to be actually moving at a pace. At least in Australia, I believe the tech is emerging and moving so fast that regulation and compliance just can't keep up. And we don't want to be put into a position where we are essentially building these barriers around the technology with what we can and can't do that impacts the functionality and utility of what we want to build and what we want to create. So as far as I can see, Japan is actually going pretty good when it comes to this. I do think that at a stage, especially if there are projects that are emerging with quite large amounts of liquidity locked away, there should be some form of compliance and regulation when it comes to security. But I'd love to hear how Japan is handling that.
Here, Japan regulation is very strict and compared to others. But because the government need to protect our asset, but they need to make a balance about restriction and about because they need to protect. So, but in real case, so like those Web3 companies, regulation is typically they ask to store data actually, and then they support what they ask to like forensic information. Like then something happens, they need to share information. So I think even regulation or something changed, they ask their requirement is sent to same as Web3.
Okay, so I think regulations are definitely very important, you know, because there are thousands and lakhs of projects launching every day worldwide. So we need a way to filter the noise. We need to see that which are the projects which are really serious and meeting the requirements, because we don't know that maybe a project is just a rug pull. It's going to take away the funds of the users. So regulations are definitely important. And Japan is one of the best examples for that. I mean, with FSA, what it's doing with FSA, it's great, you know. It's not just asking users that, hey, are you, it's not just asking the platform that, hey, are you audited? It is asking that, tell me that what are the expected attacks that can happen on your platform and how are you going to deal with it? So I think that's a next level of accountability. So yeah, I think it's very important.
Regulations are really a good thing. If done well, it enables faster innovation and better end consumer protections. But if done poorly, you're actually stifling the creativity that can happen within your country. Now we're seeing more regulations become more clear in, for example, EU. We've heard about MICA, not my name, MICA, talked about a lot at this conference, as well as the United States regulations becoming more clear. And then Japan's regulations are pretty strict, as mentioned. But for example, I'm a Japanese citizen. If I'm getting taxed 50% on my hard work and capital gains of crypto assets that I might hold or trade or build for, why would I stay here versus moving somewhere else? And I think we're seeing a lot of great smart founders in Japan choose to build in Dubai, choose to build in Hong Kong or Bangkok and move. And that's not great for the overall country's success long term. So I want to urge, there have been propositions to reduce, for example, capital gains tax, but also make regulation for crypto in Japan more open and more open for innovation. So I would urge that long term. But again, regulation is super important across the board.
Yeah, I just want to add my 2 cents since I'm based in New York. And I think a lot of like unclarity of regulations, like Micah says, when the regulation is unclear, it's really hard for the startup founders to push to different direction because you might invest a lot of money in that direction, then end up the government says like, yeah, you should not do that, and then that's actually causing a lot of like people in the United States actually, like you said, moving to Dubai or other place because like they want like this US doesn't have this clear regularity. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think government should give you more like clear direction. We have like 5 minutes, so like probably the last question. So generally, what do you guys suggestion as a like just from your viewpoint to a startup founder or to anybody starting or building a crypto company nowadays, right now? What do you general suggestion for them regarding like Web3 securities and how they should do that? I guess people are from different areas, so it's actually a good panel, so you can share about a little bit insight of like what your suggestion to the people that are building in your area. Yeah.
Taking into account the mobile application, I do believe the most important thing is, first of all, have a clear UI designer for the application to have a clear path to the user, educate the user. Also, you can have, you must focus on transparency of your project. You must use, for example, Etherscan to validate your contracts. You must have not all in one piece of code. You need to have modular pieces of contracts. You need to do some external auditing, but your internal auditing are okay, but external will be better. And that's all.
I would say look at what other people are building, because often there's more chances to collaborate rather than building out these tools yourself. There's some really cool projects and companies launching in the space, and so before you go to build tooling of your own, see what other people are building and see if you can collaborate on that. And I would say when you're building, make sure that you build with a security mindset. There are, like the other panelists were saying, all these new emerging threats that are out there. We have cross-chain exploits, Oracle manipulations, you name it, it's happening. And as more Web3, Web2, and these 2.5 layer systems start to integrate, we're just going to see more niche and more unique vulnerabilities and exploits emerge that haven't been categorized or found yet.
Yeah, as I mentioned, even Web2 or even Web3, security preparation is almost same. So what you need is to visibility or like data-driven securities. So set up some environment to store all of Web2 data, also Web3 data, and then prepare for a new Web3 attack or even Web2 attack for Web3 retrieved data.
Okay, I'm going to keep it short because, of course, we don't have much time left. So, just an example to start with. If we use the seatbelt when the plane has already crashed, there is no use of it, right? So the most important thing, that I'll start with the basic, that please work on security first and then launch the project, because I see most of the projects are crazy just about launching and they think they're gonna apply the security later. So what if you just launch and you are being attacked by the attackers and you don't even get time to scale? So I would say from the day one, start with the security by keeping in the mind that you will be attacked. The question is not if you will be attacked, the question is when will you be attacked. So focus on that. That's it.
Yeah, trust is everything. So if you get hacked, you're not going to survive as a company. Use security tools.
Thanks for sharing, and I think that the time is up. Thanks for everybody give your insight to us, and I would love to ask everybody give a round of applause to our speakers.
ありがとうございました。冒頭部、エバシー共同創設者磯川舞香様のご案内をミスがありました。磯川様、そして登壇されたすべての皆様、ありがとうございました。